Hey, what's up, everybody? Ruben here. Final week of LSA. Well, it was last week. I'm finally making a video because I just came back from vacation. I was in Chicago for the weekend with a girlfriend. It was pretty fun. Spent some time with some family that just moved out there. Checked out the city where Brad lives. It was pretty awesome. I could see why a lot of people live there. Beautiful city, clean, unlike here in New York. But I had a pretty good weekend. It was good time. Let me reset my head. Doing the same thing. It's like checking out a new city. It was like a nice shock to the system, as I kept saying all weekend. So I'm gonna get straight into it. The last week of LSA. I'm gonna talk a little bit about how also I had my one-on-one coaching call with Brad right before I left Chicago. So that was pretty neat. But the last week basically was about how do we continue using everything that we learned through LSA for our whole life, long term. Even when we gain success, you still have to keep these things going. A lot of these things he teaches, the foundations of having that successful life. Just like using the Man OS, the Man operating system, still every week, or change it up every 2 weeks. Look at it every day, or just to have a nice clear, clear path on what you're trying to do, what you value. Always know your reason for doing something, which I really like. So I'm just reading off from some of the notes I took, because this was over 2 weeks ago. So don't mind me. But basically said to use the tools that he gave us. So mint.com, I still use that for my budgeting. The trackers, the daily and the weekly trackers. I also decided that I think the daily tracker, I found an app called Lyft, and it's just like a daily tracker. You check in when you do something. Right now I'm doing the no masturbation, no booze for 30 days with Tim Ferriss. I found on his blog. I started doing that. They have other things like for meditation, for reading. They have so many different kinds of things you can do. You can even create your own and have people join you in this. It's a pretty neat community when you can post up a question, you can help others by answering their questions. And I was just like, this is perfect. This could basically replace the tracker. Instead of having it on an Excel spreadsheet, I can have it on day-to-day through an app and just hit that check mark when I complete that. So, like I read an hour. I'm trying to read an hour a day. And I started reading Mastery by Robert Greene. Read an hour just right before I started recording this. So I think I'm going to start using that versus the daily tracker, because it's just much more convenient for me. It's most of the time I'm not even on my laptop. My phone is always closest to me. So it makes it much easier for me to just go in, hit that check mark, boom, and it shows your tracking, like how many days straight you did it, if you fell off. And it's cool because you can just point out a question and be like, hey, I fell off. What do you guys do when you fall off? Do you continue or do you fail? So that's pretty neat. Of course, it talks about being specific, dig in on where you want to be with your goals. Sometimes you might have to change up your routines if you create one, whether that's because you're on vacation or you got a new job, so your scheduling all changes up. As most of you may know, I work in retail. So if I was to get a new job right now, Monday to Friday, I have to change up my whole routine, because then that's different days off, it's different times and all this. So one thing I told, since we have the LSA for life, so I can go on the website right now and look at all the videos, listen to all the audios. So I'm going to use that in the future, utilize that as much as possible when I'm feeling I'm in a rut or something. Use that. Yep. Talks about pillar of dissatisfaction when you go through periods of immersion. So you're in a period of immersion. Like right now, and we're just gonna get into this. Going through, having that coaching call with Brad made me see something, because I noticed he pointed out like I was just doing too much. I was like, oh, I want to do marketing. I also want to do a blog. I also want to get good at YouTube. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I had all these things going. I wasn't taking action on any. And what can you do if you're not taking action? And it's like, if I do take action on all of them, I might fail in every single one of them at the same time. So he was like, get specific. What do you enjoy the most? What do you love to do? and I thought of blogging. So now I'm taking my blogging very seriously. The time that I used in my second job that I had before the contract ended, that time that I used there, I'm going to totally implement that into my blog. That means looking for traffic sources, creating content for every week, buying my domain website and creating it myself and having it look nice, and putting up Google ads, and just monetize it, make it way better than what it is now. Sorry about that, my phone's going off. And this is what I want to do, like the blog. So I'm going to do this. I got a book called The 31 Days to Have a Decent Blog, something like that. It's a book on my phone that I found on ProBlogger.net. I'm doing some research. So this is what I'm going to do. So look out for that, guys. I'm still going to be posting YouTube videos weekly of my progress. This is just something I want to do. Along with that, I'll probably talk about some of the blog articles that I have, and if you're interested, I'll post a link to my blog in the bio below. So just check that out if you don't mind. You probably enjoy it. Give me some feedback too. Anyway, so talks about sometimes forgetting your purpose, which just happened to me recently, and you fall into complacency. So you have to continue to grow to live a fulfilling life. And I just read that in Mastery by Robert Greene, actually, where he talks about that. Creating good competition, when you're in a rut, change your environment or shift your focus. So that's a big one right there. I like this quote that he says, sometimes you're stuck in the trees and all you need to do is look at the forest instead of looking at one tree. So it's like to see what you're doing wrong, see the path. Maybe you took a wrong wrong way in the past, so you need to like deter yourself away from that. He talked about method versus commitment. So 80 and 90% come from commitment versus 10%, which comes from the method. Because commitment is a strong indicator of success. When you have commitment, you won't give up. You have this commitment to do it, whether you're failing and you're not doing too good. You're like, you know what? I know this is going to be. It's like you have to have kind of that curiosity and that like childlike attitude, the childhood curiosity that Robert Greene talks about in the book Mastery again. And I like that because it's like, as a child, you're so curious. You're always looking. You're always doing something that no one else is doing. And you get in trouble a lot because your parents, they do it because they love you. But they're always there saying, like, no, you shouldn't do that, or no, you can't do it. And it's like, I have a baby brother, so I see my mom do it all the time. I just tell her all the time, that's her child. It's just my brother, but I'm always like, just let him experience. Let him do his thing. Let him explore. You don't want to bog him down and be like, no, you can't do that, you can't do this. Unless it's something that he's about to kill himself, or he's going to get sick, or, health reasons. But if he's going somewhere to look at something and you're next to him, hey, let him look at it. Let him cry it out, or if something hurts, or let him do it. Like, don't scream at him for doing things that his body is telling him to do. As Elliot Hulse talks about, the body, it's like the body and the brain are one. So it's like you have to let them experience that. Experience is everything. So let me see. Talks about self-mastery, where you feel at peace or at home. Same as I can't even say this word. Self-efficacy comes from taking constant action. Sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term goals. So that's like, social life. That's what I'm thinking now. Is like, I want to focus on this blog. I'm gonna barely have a social life. I'm probably gonna go out once or twice a month at best, just so I can go out and give me a shock to the system, like I say. Instead of doing the same old thing every single day. And then that'll be the night that I go out and game. So, emotional mastery, that's something I'm also trying to help with. Emotional signals, whether negative or positive. So, negative emotions will show something is wrong. If you live consciously, you'll understand it and you'll come to the root on why you're feeling that way. Same thing with positive. So, look at it that way. Look at yourself during that emotion. So you talk suppressing versus transcending. The transcending comes from you reframing in your head what is going on in front of you. And suppressing it, it always resurfaces later. I've been talking about this for years, so this is something just like reset in my head. And it's just like, you know, whatever you feel coming at you, just let it go, you know. Example I would give is with my girlfriend when we was in Chicago. We kind of got into a little altercation over something stupid. She did something stupid, and then I reacted in a stupid way. But then I realized how I reacted, and I combated it, and we spoke about it. So it was like right there, it was just dropped, you know. It was stupid. We said it was dumb, and said it won't happen again, and that was it, right? Because I was like, back in the day, before I knew about game, before I started reading, before all this shit, and I started like that self-growth and the self-mastery, as he talks about, I would always hide it, always, and would just get in. And you get an argument with your girlfriend, and then everything comes out. It's like you vomit on them, just ugh. And you're just telling them, oh, and then remember this time, remember this, and it has nothing to do how the argument started. It could have started as, you gave me a fork instead of a spoon. And then all of the other shit comes out. So all that always resurfaces, and something not only that I work on, but I think everyone else should work on, that people watching this, is always find the exit for that energy. And I have an article about this in my blog. So I can post that link to in the bio below, because it's so important to be, you know, like, let that energy out, whether that's the depression. You gotta cry, fucking cry. Who cares? It's like, it's not manly to cry. Fucking cry. Do it. Doesn't matter who's around. If you want to go to the bathroom, let it out. You know, if you're angry, scream, throw things, you know, destroy shit if you can. You know, you don't want to destroy something and be like, ah, shit, broke my fucking laptop. What am I gonna do now? So, you know, that's something that I work on, because that's something I think we all work on constantly. It's going to be times where you just cannot control your emotion, or it's going to be a time where you have to suppress it. Maybe you're at work and you're like, fuck, my manager just got me so fucking angry, I'm about to punch him in the face. You don't want to punch him in the face. Your job is giving you the money you need to sustain your life. Unless you have, you know, something happening. I still say don't punch him in the face, because you might go to jail. But, you know, you can say something to him and continue on from there. But it was a short week in the LSA. Conversation I had with Brad was mostly the main points. Actually, in his recent video, he talks about it. Me and him spoke about a niche, like finding your niche market. He talks about how the marketing books and marketing gurus will always tell you to find your niche market. But your client can be anywhere and anyone. So, you know, as I'm looking for my blog now, family and friends, of course, but I'm going to start venturing out, going into forums, answering people's questions. I'm going into a nice mode, a nice little day-to-day, like read an hour a day, meditate for 20 minutes right now. I just want to keep it low. I read as much a day. I'm trying to like get through books like this. If I can get through it in a day, if it's something I can speed read, I'm going to speed read. If it's something I want to take my time with, like Mastery. It's a big fucking book. You see, it's pretty big. It's like 400 pages or something. Yeah. And it's like not 400 pages. It's like a small book in big letters. It's like really small letter. Look at all that. So it's pretty cool. But I'll be coming out with videos weekly. No, not talking about myself, but I want to ask you guys questions. Like if you have something, a question or something I should talk about that I may know, whether that's in relationships, philosophy, psychology. These are things I read about all the time. And in the Brad LSA forums, I'm very active. I haven't been in the last week because, you know, with the vacation, my work schedule changed. So I'm like getting used to everything, because like I spoke about earlier, the routine changed. So now I'm like getting a different routine, and I'm like going to that, and it doesn't happen overnight, you know. It's got to figure it out, what time I wake up, what time I got to do this, you know. So I'm doing that now. So just expect a new video next week, right, same time, Tuesday or Wednesday. I should be releasing that video. So look forward to speaking to you guys next week, and take care.